This is the story of Roshni and her family. One day, Roshni's mother-in-law shouted, "Hey, you unlucky woman, hurry up and bring the food. Can't you see I'm starving? You just lie around all day." Roshni replied, "I'm making the food, you can see that. I'm not sitting idle. It's so hot, and I'm cooking in this heat for you, yet you keep scolding me." Her husband then intervened, "Hey, you wretched woman, shut your mouth. How dare you speak to my mother like that? Have some shame. First, you make food late, which is your fault, and then you shout at us." The next day, Roshni went to fetch water from the well but found that the well was dry. She started heading back home. On her way, she met her childhood friend Shashmita, who had come to the village with her husband. Shashmita exclaimed, "Roshni, how are you? How is everyone at home? How is your little daughter? She was so small when I last saw her. I really like her. How is your husband? What does he do?" Roshni responded, "I'm fine and so is my daughter. My husband doesn't do much. If he feels like working, he works, otherwise, he doesn't. Even if we starve, he doesn't care. He just sits with his mother and does whatever she says." Shashmita's husband offered, "Send your husband to me. I'll teach him work and give him a good job with a handsome salary. You'll have a better life and eventually, you can move to the city." Shashmita encouraged Roshni, "Yes, Roshni, talk to your husband about it." Roshni was overjoyed and said, "I'll go and talk to him right now." She returned home, bursting with happiness, knowing that her husband was about to get a good job. As she entered the house quietly, neither her husband nor her mother-in-law noticed her. Roshni's mother-in-law was brainwashing her son against Roshni. Roshni approached her husband and said, "Listen, when I was coming back from the well, I met my childhood friend Shashmita. Her husband said he can give you a good job and teach you work. We'll have a better life, move to the city, and become rich." Her mother-in-law retorted, "So, now you talk to other men on the road. Shame on you. Is this what your parents taught you, to talk to strange men? I knew it. This is why you go to the well every day. You must be up to something. Listen, son, her intentions are not good. Beat her up a couple of times and she'll straighten out. As for work, my son will not work. Whatever he brings, eat that and be happy." Roshni's husband said, "Hey, unlucky woman, listen to me. I am not going to work, nor am I going to feed you for free. I am not your father's servant. Go to your father and ask him for money to run the house. I am not working. Got it?" Roshni replied, "My father has fed us all his life. Now you do something. How much more can I trouble my old father?" Her husband, Neil, got very angry and started beating Roshni with his hands and legs. Roshni fell unconscious to the ground. Her mother-in-law said, "Son, I think Roshni is dead. Let's flee this village quickly. If the police come, we'll spend our lives in jail. Don't worry, I'll get you married to my sister's daughter. Let's go to my sister's village." Roshni lay unconscious for a long time because she was alone in the house. When her daughter, Hina, came home and saw her mother like that, she started screaming and crying, "Mom, what happened to you? Are you okay? Open your eyes, Mom. What happened to you?" After a while, Roshni regained consciousness and sat up. She told Hina everything that had happened. Roshni explained, "Your father and grandmother were very cruel to me. They beat me so badly that I fainted. I was giving your father good advice to take up a job so we could manage our household expenses." Roshni then took her daughter and went to the city to see her friend Shashmita. Shashmita and her husband were having tea when Roshni arrived. Shashmita exclaimed, "Roshni, what happened to you? How are you? Did your husband beat you? You look so worried. Tell me what happened." Roshni told Shashmita everything about how her husband and mother-in-law had mistreated her. She started crying while narrating the ordeal and asked, "Shashmita, you are a very good friend. Can we stay at your house? I will do all the housework and cleaning. I want my daughter to get a good education and a good job so we can live peacefully." Shashmita's husband reassured her, "Roshni, don't worry. You are like my little sister. You can stay with us like family. You won't do any work because you are my sister? Stay here like Shashmita does. Roshni thanked Shashmita and her husband. Later, Shashmita enrolled Roshni's daughter in the same school where her son, Akil, studied. It was a very good school with excellent teachers who taught the children with love and care. Roshni always cooked delicious meals for Shashmita's family and took care of the household chores. She never let anyone else do any work. They all ate together and life became much easier. Roshni, being a kind-hearted person, managed the house responsibilities and lived with Shashmita's family happily. She kept them happy, her daughter happy, and lived a content life herself.